Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be taking you through my strategy for getting started on soloing the JustTorso start in Kenshi. Now, you may have seen a version of this start before in AmbiguousAmphibian's Torsolo series, but if I recall correctly, he used some safe scumming, and I prefer to play with no reloading allowed, and I've found a strategy I'm going to show you to be pretty consistent, at least in terms of getting a full set of reasonable quality limbs early on. I've included a link to the torso mod I'm using in the description. But without further ado, I'm going to pick this start. So very quickly on race selection, it doesn't really matter what you pick, but I find the Scorch Lander to have a lot of bonuses that really help early on with the start. So they have a bonus to athletics and stealth, which are really the most important skills early on, since you can't do any labouring or combat, and even scavenging is difficult because you make yourself extremely vulnerable by leaving towns with no limbs. So stealing is really the only viable and consistent option to begin with. They also have the ability to eat raw meat, which means you can get an easy meal from dead skimmers. Obviously, cooking isn't usually much of an issue, but when it can take half an in-game day to crawl across a town to a campfire, the ability to just eat straight off a corpse is a huge advantage. I've also done this start as a skeleton, which works well for not having to worry about food early on, but you'll need to train the stealth skill a little longer because obviously they have a disadvantage to that skill. And the skeleton repair kits are really neither here nor there because you can't do first aid or repair anyway as a torso, so if you get attacked by anything early on, it's pretty much an immediate game over anyway. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do when I start is make sure I have sneak mode active. And then looking at the map here, we can see that Shobutai is the closest town to where we are, and I would be going there if we weren't doing a solo run. And I can make a video outlining my strategy for non-solo torso runs if anyone requests one in the comments. But what we're going to do instead is head straight to Heft over here because there's a robotics shop there, which is going to be our main source of cats and limbs in the early game. So we're just going to start crawling to Heft at 3 times speed, which is going to be super tedious, but we need to keep an eye out for any threats and opportunities on our way. The only thing other than the obvious I'd say you need to be aware of is that slavers won't actually enslave you when you're a torso, or at least for me, they activate the thought you could escape us dialogue, but won't actually pick you up, so you don't need to worry about them. So I've noticed on my way to Heft here, there's some dying skimmers that must have been attacked by something. Now, since they're dying, I don't need to worry about them getting back up, so I'm going to crawl over to them and see what we can scavenge off them. And yeah, we can pick up a nice amount of meat off these guys that, since we're a Scorch Lander, we can eat straight away. And also these animal claws, which sell for a good amount of money given how little inventory space they take up, so I'm going to take as many of these as possible. Okay, so we've made it to Heft. I'm gonna suggest you come in via the west gate over here, since there seems to be less skimmer spawns on this side. Obviously getting hit by skimmers just before you make it to safety is gonna kill your run, and it's just a nightmare after spending all this time crawling. Okay, so you can see it's the middle of the day at the moment, which means we can't really do the sneaking and stealing that I want to do. But what I will do is I'll just pop into this robotics shop, and we can sell all these claws that we got when we were in the desert for a little boost of money. So this could be a meal, but it certainly won't be any limbs yet. What we really want to steal is this stuff, but we're going to have to wait till nighttime till we can do that. Alright, so we're firmly into the nighttime now. You can see the little sun symbol is empty, which means I'm in maximum darkness. And hopefully if I sneak into here, because I'm not lit very well, and because we've got this huge 84 effective stealth due to crawling on the floor and all the extra stealth we got on our way here, we can start stealing the stuff off this shelf here. So just sort of get as close as you can without any risk of him seeing us, and just alt right click on all of these, grab everything we can, make sure we get the CPU units. I'm not going to try and get this up here because it's not worth the risk. But if we look at our inventory here, this CPU unit is worth, the sell price is 2,430, which is pretty ridiculous for something that we can steal this easily. So now I've got that stuff, I'm going to go head to this bar on the opposite side of town. Now, obviously, usually you'd need to find a shinobi thief to sell things that you've stolen. But because the robotics workshop guy is of the robot faction, and these guys are the United Cities factions, you get 100%, what's the word? Fencing chance because they're from a different faction. So I'll just crawl in here. Feels like we're getting faster, but we're not. We're still moving at 2 miles an hour. Okay, and I'll go talk to this barman. We'll see how much money we make out of this. So we're at 2,520 just from those claws that we sold, but I'll sell these. And look at that, 7,668 cats straight away. I'll even get myself a little bit of cooked meat, maybe a little bit more. So I've got something else to eat. Alright, and now we'll go talk to that skeleton again. So looking at what the skeleton's got available here, I think we could actually afford a full set of limbs already. Now, usually if I was playing this, I'd wait till I could afford some better legs, like, you know, the scout legs or the stealth legs. Obviously, the guy's inventory is going to replenish every day or so, which also means we'll have more stuff to steal off this shelf. But just to sort of prove the concept, I suppose, we can pick up some of these legs here. I think we might also have enough for some arms. Well, we got enough for one arm. So if I can equip now the arms and legs. Oh, oops! I bought 2 economy left legs. I'll sell that back. I should still get buyback for it. Just about. But yeah, so you can see that if you sort of waited a couple more days, came back in here. In the meantime, you know, there's skimmers dying out here. You can go and loot them. Just make sure you don't go too far away from the gates. This side of town seems to have more chaos going on generally, which would be the east side of town. But yeah, that's pretty much the strategy. If you wanted even more money, you could look at these other shops here. Obviously, you can't pick the locks because you don't have any arms yet. But I tend to just get skimmer stuff, get the meat from them. If you're a Greenlander, obviously go over here, cook it at these campfires, and just keep doing that until you've got enough of the limbs that you want, and you're pretty much ready to go. The only thing I'd say in terms of limb selection is try and get stuff that doesn't affect your athletics too much, because the most important thing in Kenshi is being able to run away if you need to, especially early on. But that's the only advice I'd give, really. And there you are, look, so I can get these claws and just wait for that guy's stock to replenish so we can steal more stuff from him. So I've waited another day and looted the skeleton guy's shop again, and that was enough for the other limbs I needed, with 1,558 cats left over. So if I wanted to now, I could start making some honest cats by mining until I can afford better ones, or just take the limbs off, put them on the ground, and continue stealing from the skeleton. So thanks for watching. This is my first attempt at making any kind of YouTube content, but I stream Kenshi Monday, Wednesday and Friday on Twitch under the same name, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. Other than that, please leave a like and a comment, especially if you have any constructive criticism or think I should make more videos like this. I'm thinking either a non-solo guide to this start, or maybe some Let's Play commentary, trying out one of the Bandit start mods. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.